Give me a minute. Share my screen. I have this very short PowerPoint, just to give us an overview. Um, Interesting. Okay, I think I'll just share my entire screen for now. All right, now let's come here. Okay, so good afternoon again. Good afternoon from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm not sure it's afternoon everywhere, but good afternoon from Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Victoria Kemi, and I've worked for a little over 5 years as a data analyst. And Tableau is one of the interesting tools that I keep using to, get insights, display what my data looks like, and just communicate. Basically, that's the essential purpose of it. Please confirm that you can hear me and that you can see my screen just before I go forward.
Yes, I can hear you and I can see your screen.
All
Yes,
right, thank you very much. Now, before I take us through the very few slides I have, I want us to go to this link. Do I need to copy and drop it in the chat room? So I just want
Yes,
us to
ma'am.
get, yeah, okay. So let me control E this. Okay, yeah. Now let me go back to this guy. So when you get that link, or when you click on that link, it should bring you here. It brings you to Tableau Products homepage, where we are going to be looking, or rather exploring, their four major product portfolio. And for today, we'll be focusing on Tableau Desktop, of course. So I need to know if I have people following, because I think one of the interesting things would be that we are able to download the app, use the software, most likely, if possible, even publish our dashboard, and then, we start from somewhere. So please kindly come to this link, and then we would be downloading the Tableau desktop. Now, the reason why I want us to download Tableau desktop is because it comes with, I think, about 14 days free, I mean, full rights, full user rights, such that you can explore the different tools on the platform. But before that, or rather, while we're doing that, maybe I should just give us an idea what the other three tools are. So we have Tableau Cloud, we have Tableau Server, which almost do the same thing, right? The only difference between the two is that cloud is cloud based. I mean, it's generally managed by Tableau itself. And then Tableau Server, you gain access, you gain full control of your data and analytics deployment. So that's the major difference. And then there's Tableau Next, pretty new. It combines AI, as you see, trusted data, modular architecture, and all of that. But again, for this class, because of the trial that we have on Tablet Desktop, I think we should work with that for now, so we can build a couple charts on that. So I need to know if we have downloaded that yet, so we are following together. So I'm just going to
okay,
say
I
start
think,
free trial.
okay, I'm actually also trying to download it. You need to
Okay.
sign up first.
Yes, it's just, I mean, it's very short. It's just your name. You can use your Gmail, your phone number, and then you can download the free trial. So I'm just going to wait for us to have at least, should we say, 5% who have it downloaded, and then I can go into the slides proper.
Hello, but can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
It's alternative to the trial version. Maybe going forward, if you want to make use of it, are you saying that there's a cloud or the other ones that will be needed to use?
So every
Or
other version, I mean, including Tableau Desktop, they are paid versions, right? But then, like I said, there's only Desktop that gives you the 14 days trial period, to test their product. So after the 14 days lapses, then you have to buy the license. I think it's about 100 USD per year, which is rather cheap if you ask me. So yeah, I hope that
okay,
answers your question.
okay, it's okay.
Okay, I also have a suggestion.
Hmm.
I'm trying to download you right now, and it's about 600 and
Yes, it's over 600.
620 something, 654 MB. So I'm just looking at it that it might take a little bit of time due to our current network in Lagos now. So probably
I'm
we
in
should
Lagos,
move over,
Nigeria as
we
well.
should do the
Mhm.
class. Yeah, we should proceed with the
The
class.
reason why,
So anybody that has gotten it down, I say I probably we should resume. We should continue with the class because this class is going to be recorded, and you'll be
mhm.
able to get this class and the material later on. So as to save and maximize our time usage.
Okay,
Okay,
but
ma,
then
sorry, please. Is it Tableau mobile?
it's Tableau Desktop.
Tableau desktop.
You can just follow the link I dropped on the chat.
Okay. Okay, ma.
So again, because it's majorly a practical, uh, what do I call it now? A practical course, you know. A
Mhm.
reason why I thought it was best to probably have at least again out of I think we have about 30 participants, at least 5 people who have it downloaded who can follow along and drop charts and images of what they are doing.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So again, do we have anyone who has downloaded yet? One person, two persons, 5 persons, please. All right. So while our tool is downloading, I'm just going to dive in. So, what's our outline? We're just going to look at what data visualization itself is. A lot of people use that term. Oh, I'm visualizing this. Oh, data visualization. Oh, let's use this. Oh, this tool does data visualization, and all of that. And then we would look at the importance of data visualization and, of course, just go straight into Tableau. Now, I do not, like I said, I'm not a fan of stories. I do not have much on the slides. I mean, the main work is on Tableau. So, what is data visualization? I mean, it would make sense that we're using visualizations to explain what data visualization is. I mean, just looking at the bar chart, the donut chart, the line chart, it should at some point, it should to an extent communicate something to you, right? I'm seeing blue, I'm seeing green, I'm seeing pink, or rather purple. I'm rather colorblind. I'm seeing those colors. It should communicate something to you. What is data visualization? In simple terms, I like to explain data visualization as a way of just transforming numbers into pictures, a way of just simplifying a rather dense collation of numbers into simple charts, such that it makes sense at a glance. Reason why I came to this, why it is important. So on the left, we have a table that speaks to the data that I used or rather plugged to the bar charts that we have on the right, or rather vertical charts, whichever name it is that you prefer. You know, on the left side, on the A container, you would see different color names, drawing books, staplers, books, glue, pencils, erasers, paper clips, calculators. And then on the row, you have first quarter, second, third, fourth, and of course, the count is in millions. On the other container, the B container, right? Easily, I can identify, especially since this particular container even now has the legend, which is where we have blue as books, green as pencils, pink as calculators, right? Just because I've seen this legend, I know that whatever is blue that I'm looking at here speaks to books. Whatever is green that I'm looking at here speaks to pencils, and whatever is pink that I'm looking at here speaks to calculators. Same as what we have here. So everything blue, pencils, everything green, and everything blue, books, everything green, pencils, everything pink, calculators, right? It just communicates instantly. It's easier for me to make inferences from what I'm saying as compared to when I have to. I mean, imagine I had a table much more longer than this. Then I would have to look at the data cell after cell, row after row, just to gain proper insights. So, why is data visualization important? It simplifies complex data, right? I can just quickly see, okay, this person is just interested in three columns from this data. I don't need to look at, oh, where is books here? In what quarter did books do better? In what quarter did they sell more books? Right? Just merely looking at this, I can say, okay, 4.5 definitely in the fourth quarter, right? In what quarter did they sell calculators best? Fourth quarter definitely. It just brings it out easily. You can easily identify patterns, trends, outliers, and of course, it communicates. Your visualization should tell a story. You shouldn't just combine different kinds of, which is what we find these days. People combining different kinds of complicated, complex charts. And then at the end of the day, it doesn't really tell a story. You're just showing that, oh, I can build this. But what is this saying? You yourself, do you fully understand what you've displayed? All right. That's that as regards my slides. Uh, I'm going to need a minute to jump out of this and connect back on my other device. I sincerely apologize for that. But then that also gives us some time to get Tableau Public up, or rather Tableau Desktop up. So do we have anyone who has downloaded fully now? Please, I need responses. Kindly respond. Oh, thank you, Mr. John. Mr. John has Tableau Desktop already. I believe you are him. Someone else? Do we have any other person? If not, I guess hi and John can go ahead and have this class. Sorry about that. Oh my God. On the side of Lagos, I am. The network is pretty good. I'm just joking. Oh, thank you. I didn't care. So we have two people who have it installed. I believe you guys have installed it. I said I'm just joking, Mr. Kayode. Take it easy. Patience, patience. All right, let me just jump out and I'll be right back.
Okay, while she reconnects, kindly make sure that if you're downloading it, please proceed, continue downloading because the class is majorly going to be more of exactly what we're going to be doing. Questions, you can always send a message in the chat box and express yourself so as not to get lost during class. I'm sure she will be coming on back soon. Yes, the Mr. Paul, the paid version is she said it's $100 per year. So, but right now we're going to be working with for 14 days free trial, but using the full package. But after the 14 days free trial, you would need to make purchase on the app. So, but let me see if she's back on. Okay. So just bear with us a minute. The network is pretty hectic here in Lagos today. So while we wait for her, how many of us have downloaded the Tableau desktop? If you have downloaded it, or if you haven't downloaded it, or you need the link, you can send a message to the group, and I'll send it. I'll send the link again, or just send the link one more time. The link has been sent again, so as we will all be able to follow along in this class without having any issues, because this is a very special class. You don't get this kind of classes every day.
Please, sir, can we,
I'm listening.
I know it's recorded. Would it be shared later?
Yes, it will be shared.
So we take our
It will be
time and
shared.
go through again.
Exactly. Yes,
Thank you.
it will be. Both
Thank you.
material and the videos will be shared. And
Thank
please,
you
just
so
to
much.
confirm, are you on the Telegram group for Microsoft classes?
No, so I am on the business side, but I've
Okay,
always
so
wanted to learn Tableau, so that's why I joined the class.
all right. So what I would do now is I would send a link to the group just to make sure that if you are you are for this class, you can always get notification on how or when the class is and when the material is out and when the YouTube links are out. So
Okay.
you to keep you like a steady reminder and how to follow up.
Okay.
And
Thank
by
you.
the way, the classes are every second week, second Friday, every Friday, every second Friday of every month. Yes, let me put it like that. So I
You
can
mean the
say
Tableau
she's back.
class?
No, I mean Microsoft class. This is
Okay,
under
okay,
Microsoft
okay, okay,
Diploma. So
okay, okay.
all right. So I'm sharing the link right now. I can see she's back here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello. Very good, very good. All right, you can proceed. I can see Lagos network is really showing you today.
All right. Well, okay. I think we have two people who have installed theirs already. Please confirm that you've installed and not just downloaded. Please confirm that you've installed. I can't find the download button. Uh, you should be able to find the download button. You just click on Tableau Desktop and then you start a free trial. So once you do that, it asks you to input your details and then it downloads. Welcome
Can't find the
to.
desktop either.
Sorry?
I can't find the desktop either.
I will send it
Yes.
directly a direct link for you on the chat box right now so you can proceed with ease.
My screen should be up now. Okay.
Yes, your
So,
screen is up and we can see you clearly.
all right. Thank you. So again, you click that link, it most likely brings you here, and then you go to Tableau Desktop, learn more. Once you do that, you start a free trial, and then it comes here. So it shouldn't be that difficult. All right, so let's dive into Tableau for those of us who have it installed already. So I've turned on my, or rather, opened my Tableau desktop software. Unfortunately, I already have a licensed version because I work with this almost every day of my life. So yeah, reason why you're also seeing different kinds of dashboards opened here. But on yours, for someone who is just opening Tableau for the very first time, you would most likely have something blank, like a blank page, and probably this quick start, right? So I'm just going to quickly take us through uh, a few, do I call them menu on this page, right? So of course, for you to start your visualization, you need to connect to a data source. You need to connect to whatever it is that your visualization will be riding upon. I think that's clear, right? So you can connect to a file, Tableau server, of course, to a servers of choice. In fact, let me open more so we can see the different sources, that Tableau has provided for us to connect to, right? I mean, different kinds of Amazon sources, Databricks, which is pretty much trending right now, S3, Google Analytics, Google BigQuery, so I mean just so much, a lot of them, right? Of course, as simple as your CSV, as simple as your Excel file, as simple as JSON, your special file for those who again related to S3, for those of us into GIS analytics, uh and the rest of it, you can of course connect to Postgres. I mean right. So I'll just go out of this, right, and come back here. For today, we're going to be using one of the sample data sources that Tableau has provided. So, of course, you would also have this on your Tableau desktop once you open it. So, I'm just going to double click on this to activate it. Or rather, let me go back and then let's try connecting to a data source. Maybe not just that now. Okay, so I'm going to right. So it brings me back here. So for instance, I don't want to work with, because of course we won't be working with, Tableau Superstore data source, right? We would want to connect to data of our own interest. Uh, I'll assume I'm interested in connecting to a text file, and text, of course, captures .csv delimited, right? Excel, we all know Excel. So I'll just say, for instance, I want to connect to, which should I try? Let's try text, right? And then it takes me to, of course, wherever the directory is, okay? Wherever your file is, it takes you to that directory. And then you can find the directory, pick the file of interest, and then you can open it, bring it into Tableau. But also note that once you say you want to connect once you say you want to connect to a text file, the only list of files you will begin to see, as expected, I mean, it makes sense, would be just text files. Of course, once you say you want to connect via Microsoft Excel, the only list of files you begin to see will be files. You'd see that the list has changed. It would now automatically pull as metal workbooks that you have within that directory. Anyway, again, we said we want to use sample data source from Tableau. So let's work with that. I think I can't remember the names of those who have it installed already. Please tell me you're following. Please confirm that you've connected to the Superstore data source. Please confirm. Connected. Thank you so much, Stephen Tyre. Anyone else connected? Please, I'm going to ask us to show us our chat too. We're going to be screenshotting, snapping, and dropping it here. You know, please. Anyone else who has been able to connect? Fantastic. Right, let's go back. Okay. So now again, I think it will be nice for us to again just understand what this interface is about. So as always, for every tool you have a menu, and then the menu would direct you to different kinds of tools, different kinds of processes, sometimes different kinds of base layers and the rest of it. Right? So I'll just pick file first. Here you can see, I mean, just like almost every other uh, software, if file will most likely lead you to save, lead you to save as, lead you to open a new document. It's, I mean, when you begin to see these tools or see the functionality, it will make sense when you start to picture it out of just the fact that, oh, Tableau is strange or new to me, right? You would start to see relation to other tools that you have probably used in the past. So here you're able to open a new document, close, save, and do all that fun stuff. Of course, I have so many options here because I use this day in and out. I'll go to data. I can connect to my new data source. Of course, this will be checked on your end because we are currently using the sample superstar data from Tableau. So again, because my mouse is on that, I can edit the data source, I can refresh, I can view the data and do all that fun stuff. We're still going to view the data, but I want us to view it somewhere else, all right? Now, moving on to the worksheet. So again, different things we can do on the worksheet. I think I should mention at this point that this worksheet, I mean, just relates to what you have here because at the bottom you have your data source, your sheet pane, and then you have the dashboard pane, and then you have the story pane. So basically, the worksheets they're referring here just speaks to your sheet pane, right? You can create as many sheets as possible, as many visualizations as possible, as many charts and graphs and maps as possible, and then collapse all of those into just one page document, which is your dashboard. And then sometimes you might want to have you might want to have multiple dashboards, to tell a story. I mean, it all makes sense. Let's just create something and then it will make more sense to us. Moving on to dashboard, I already in fact mentioned that worksheet, dashboard, story, and then analysis. Yes, as expected for every uh, what's the word now? As expected for every aggregation tool, as expected for every visualization analytics tool, right? It's expected that you will have tools like this. You will have a section, that is dedicated to doing analysis. So aggregate measures, stack marks, percentages, totals. I mean, all of these tools can be accessed in a different way as well. But you also have them here just in case you ever start to look for it. And then of course, maps. This is my own favorite part, right? I mean, I work with maps almost every other day of my life while I do visualizations. So I enjoy coming here a lot. So I can do maps, I can change their formats, see what they look like, hard map box, hard WMS maps, do background images, do geocoding, just fun stuff. You could also format, I mean, for your visualization to look, what's the word, aesthetically pleasing for people to be interested. I mean, it's not just about designing donuts and designing line graphs and designing maps. Also make it look pleasing, right? You don't want to talk about, for instance, a dashboard that speaks to vegetation, and then you are using color red. Come on, you're speaking to vegetation. And it makes sense if you're looking at mortality rates and then you're using shades of red that aren't again too loud. I mean, there's a way you can tune down the color such that it still communicates, right? So I mean, the format just gives you that ability. You can format your fonts, alignment, shading, borders, and other interesting stuff, right? Of course, your server, I mean, we will be coming here to publish much later. Hopefully we can do, the time is 2:38. Hopefully we can do, something nice and then publish it on our own different profiles. But now that I think about it, I think we might need to set up a Tableau public profile, but we'll come back there. And then of course your window, and then help as always. a tool will have help. I mean, at least most of the tools I have worked with always have their help or their documentation. All right, now that we've covered that, let's move to the left container, right? To the left pane, which is typically called the data pane in Tableau. So we have two sections, data, again, we are saying this again, analytics. All right. On your data pane, you would see the data that you have ingested, the data that you have brought in, right? And then you would see the different, what's it called now? The different columns that exist within your different workbooks. Now, let me use a very interesting, I think it's a very common analogy when you're working on PostgreSQL. And I hope we have people who know what PostgreSQL on the call, who know what it is on the call, right? They would say you have a file manager on your system, right? And then within that file manager, you have stored a workbook that you called 2025, what should we call it? Okay, let's just say you have a workbook that you say that's 2025 within that file manager. Now, in that workbook, you have worksheets. Now I'm taking Excel class, but then I just want to relate it to this, right? Because again, I always like to look at things as connected. They're similar, right? Now, within that workbook, you have worksheets. Now, again, you have an Excel. Typically, when you open a fresh Excel document, it comes empty. And then at the bottom of your Excel sheet, you would have sheet one, sheet two, sheet three. Is as simple as that, right? Now, we have that sheet, but on that sheet one, we have that table. For instance, the table that we saw on the PowerPoint document I shared earlier when I was comparing it with the graph, or rather the bar chart. Now, on that sheet, we had a column for I think books, we had a column for pencils, and then we had a column for calculators, right? Those column names are what we are seeing here. Now, order is the table, or rather, orders is the table, and then customer name, location. Actually, this is an hierarchy: country, region, da da da, products, ship date, discounts, profits. All of these are columns on their own, just like we have book column, like we have calculator column, and the other column that we had. So all of these are columns that exist on the orders table. Again, we have another table. Please don't forget that we pulled this data directly from Tableau free data, the Superstore data, or rather the Superstore sample data. And then it came with these three tables: orders, people, and returns. Now, uh, okay, let's just go back to see, what I'm about to describe. Now, we would see that what Tableau has done with this, honestly, I do not want to go to the complicated parts because I really want us to get the basics. Because, of course, once you get the basics, you can then explore on your own and get better insights, right? But what Tableau has done here anyway is just to let's just use the word join layers or join tables using unique identifiers. There's something that exists on this table, there's something, and that same something exists on the other table, and then it joins using that. So it pulls the record for both, essentially. But again, I just wanted us to see this, right? So we'd see how, because you might be wondering, but it was just one layer that we double clicked on. How come we now have three tables? So here, that's how we got to this point. All right. So again, I think that explains it for the data pin. Uh, I think I shouldn't dive into this yet, right? Okay, so I'll just move on to this. So for pages, most times when I need to create something dynamic, probably something that changes, something like an animation, right? I would most likely use my pages for that. For instance, I want to create a dashboard such that it drives itself. So it can show me the number of, why do I keep going back to mortality? God forbid, that's my Nigerian mind. For instance, I'm interested in birth rates, right? So I could design a dashboard that captures the number of children born in, for instance, 2025. So I want the dashboard to just automatically play and stop itself, right? just play me the number of children born from January, February, March, that way up until the month we're in. I will just drop the dimension of interest on pages. Again, now that I mentioned dimensions, I should point it out. So we would notice that under this others table, right, we would see that specific, some columns are colored blue, some are colored green. Again, I like to think I'm colorblind. I hope I'm getting the colors right. But yeah, some are blue and then some are green, right? The blue ones are typically dimensions. Now, what are dimensions? I think I should, yeah, dimensions are majorly categorical variables. And again, I'm trying my best not to use too technical terms. I just want to break it down. So again, like I said, once you get the basics, it's easier for you to know what you're looking for online when you start to search, right? So dimensions are basically categorical variables, right? So our green ones are measures. They're called measures. Dimensions are measures. So if I want to see, for instance, the number of births in Nigeria in 2025, if I say I want to categorize it by month, or rather, let me ask, in that scenario, which is my dimension, which is my measure? Please, I need an answer. We need to run. Or rather, I need answers. Please. I am back here and I've not seen any answers yet. Somebody, please. Okay, Ruben. So the question is, I want to visualize the number of children born in 2025 from January to December, or rather 2024, since we've not gotten to December yet. Number of children born from January to December 2024. So I'm asking now so I have two variables. I have the number of children born variable, and then I have the months variable. So I'm asking which one speaks to, which one is dimension, and which one is a measure value. Especially since I already said dimensions are categorical variables. Measures on the other hand rather, are values. Measures are values, numbers. Please, I need an answer. It's okay if the Tableau public site website is working for you. We can go ahead. You can go ahead with that. Dimensions, I think had a month. Somebody give Daniel a cold bottle of Fanta. Months are dimensions. Thank you so much, Mobola. Right? The months, January, February, March, April, up until December, are the dimensions. And then, Kessie, I'm too fast. Please, someone should, what's the word now? Do I have people supporting Mr. Paul Norris that I am too fast? And I hope I pronounced that name well and didn't murder it. Please confirm if I'm too fast. Mr. Taiwo, yes to months as dimensions, or yes that I am not too fast. Which one? Or Miss Taiwo? I'm just trying to, again, like I said, cover as much basics. Why in capital letters? You didn't have to put it in capital letters now. Oh my goodness. Then there's nothing to pick if I'm too fast then. Okay, I think I'll take it slower. All right. At least I'm glad we got the concept of the months being the dimension, and then the values, the counts, right? The numbers. That's the birth rate being the measures. Again, dimensions and measures. Just take note of that, please. And then we would also come back to discrete and continuous. You can just take note of that. Okay, now that this is sorted, let's move on. So again, we're going to create a visualization. Or now I'm painting another scenario. We're creating a visualization, right? And then we want to have number of children born in 2025. And then because I can't think of something else at the moment, the death rate in 2025. Now, if I'm interested in seeing just a month, the simple process is just for me to pull my month's card into filters. So I'm just trying to explain how the filters work. So the filters allow you to see one thing per time. So it allows you to see something of interest to you per time. For instance, I want to see just January. I can pull my month's card and drop it into filters, and then I will see for just that, right? If I'm interested in seeing, for instance, just uh I don't want to see anything lesser than 500. I can pull my measure and dump it there. Then I will see that. But it will make more sense when we start to do it, so we don't talk too much on that. And then we have the max pane, right? Here, I'm just going to select here so we can see different, uh, what's it called now? The different options that we have. But then I should also mention that if you have your tablet desktop installed, I think it will make more sense as I'm discussing because you're interacting with it as well. And I want to believe those people will not say I'm fast because they can see it, they can relate with it already. Okay, so again, the options we have under our Max card automatic, you can create your bar, your line, your area, and all of that. You can again do some formatting here, do some coloring, change your sizes, do some text uh, edits, add tooltips, details, and all of that. But most times detail works with maps. Then we have our columns and then we have our rows. As someone who works with geospatial data, typically my X will be my columns, and then, or rather, my Y will be my columns, and then my rows will be my X, whichever one it is. I hope I'm not interchanging them for one another. All right. I think that should sum it on this. So let's start visualizing. Okay. So I want us to look at the data, right? And I'm going to come to this section right here. I'm trying to move my mouse so we can see the section I'm referring to. So I'm going to come to this section right here that says view data, and I'll just click that. This is one of the ways to view your data when you're already in the worksheet, right? So this is what's it called? Tableau has provided for us. This is the free data that we're working on right now, or that we plan to work on. And this speaks to just the others table, right? So we can see the different categories, or rather, like I said, oh, I should have even opened this when I was trying to explain the colon situation. So you can see all those options under others, category, city, country, all that product name, and all of this interesting stuff that we'll be using. Same as when you go to people, you can see what we have. So apparently we have just one column under people table, the regional manager, and it's just four of them. And then returns, again, it's just one column. All right, now we've seen what our data looks like. So I don't know, can we provide indicators? Can we provide what we want to see based on this data? I think it would be more interesting that way. But if I don't get responses in time, I'll probably just pick a random dimension and measure and start work. So we have category, we have city, we have country, we have customer name, we have manufacturer, order date, the order ID, that's when the order was placed, the ID of the order, the postal code, the name of the product, we have the region, we have segment, the ship date, the ship mode, the state, subcategory, discount, profit, quantity, and sales. What am I interested in seeing here? In fact, I intentionally didn't try to work on this file, or rather this sample data, because I wanted us to do everything in class here. Just so all of us, it can dawn on all of us at the same time. Right. So please, let's suggest dimensions and measures we'd like to see. Do we want to see our category? Maybe we want to see the total sales per category, or we want to see the total sales in each city or country. Customer name, I think it's going to be a lot. Manufacturer, let's see. Other ID, postal code, product name. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot of products too, considering how tiny this scroll bar is. Yeah, it's a lot of products. I think it might be best for us to just streamline to those who do not have too much.
Regions.
So you're interested in regions. Thank you very much. Any other dimension of interest? And what would you like to see by region? Sales, profit, or quantity? What do we want to see? We also have subcategory. We have state or profit, province. We have ship mode, ship date, and segments. Okay, let's start with regions, like the gentleman suggested. I think another thing to point out before I start to visualize is that you would note that on all of these different columns, the data type is put in front of it. So you would see that in front of this customer name, you're seeing ABC. In front of this country, region, state, you're seeing something like a browser, right? In front of order dates, you're seeing a calendar. In front of order ID, it's ABC again. Products for category are saying ABC. So it just shows the different data types. So customer name is string, uh, country, region, these are geographic. I mean, that's the way Tableau represents them. Order date is a date. So Tableau represents it with its calendar. The order ID again is string, ABC. Category string. Uh, this is a bean that was developed. This is string as well. This is calendar. What else? This is a set. Now these are measures. When you see this asterisk, or is it asterisk? Ash. I think it's ash. Yeah. These are measures. These are counts. These are numbers, basically. So I just also wanted to point that out before we start work. Anyway, let's start visualizing. So we're interested in region. Now, there are different ways to visualize your data, right? Depending on the kind of visualization you want to do. So for instance, the gentleman said region. I'll move region here, right? And it automatically shows me a table that has the different regions within our data. So these are all the regions within our data, right? And then, for instance, I'm interested in seeing the total sales. So I'll just move it to my columns and then I can see the total sales. Or I can put it in my text so that I can just see it as a table. Again, I'm trying not to be too fast at this point. So let me clear this and start again because my spirit leader just said someone is about to say you're too fast. All right. So again, I'm going to move my regions to my rows. You can move it to your column. I mean, when I was learning, I used to try different methods. And then I keep on, trying and trying until, oh, this is what I want. Yes, now I got it. That's the way I work. And then, it's trial upon trial upon trial. And before you know it, you're fantastic at it. Right? So this time around, I've just, again, click on your region and move it to whether columns or rows. Sorry. All right. So I've left click on it and I've carried it. I haven't left or I haven't dropped the left part of my mouse that I picked, right? And I'm dumping it here. So I'm just dropping it there. Now it's showing me in a different format, right? And I said, I want to see the sales by region, right? So the total sales in each region within the data. Or maybe our interest is quantity, the quantity of products bought or sold, right? And let's pick quantity again. Hold my left, what's it called? I'm going to hold the left, I can't find the word, but I'm just going to hold that left part of the mouse and then I'll dump it in my rows. Now we see that it looks different. Okay. How? I want the other format I did initially. I don't need to remove the cards from the columns and rows. There's a tiny tool here that is called swap rows and columns. I'll just click on that and then it swaps it back to the way it was initially. But to be honest, I think I prefer the newer version. So I'll just go back, or rather the previous version. So I'll just come back to this. All right, this is our first bar chart on Tableau. Please, I want to see images. I want to see those of us who are actually following with on our Tableau desktop installed. Kindly drop your images on. No, no, I don't need you to clap. I want you to drop your images. But thank you for clapping anyway. Please drop your images. Please drop your images, not hearts. Please drop your images. Please snipe and drop your images. I need just one image and then I'll move on. Someone should drop just an image first, please. I'm waiting. It's almost 3 p.m. There's still so much fun stuff to do, you guys. Come on, you people. Hmm. I feel like I'm being scammed right now, and I don't like the feeling. I need an image, just one. Or is it not possible to drop an image? I mean, I've not even tried it. Let me see if it's possible. So nobody can, if I should drop it, nobody can tell me, oh, it's not possible. Oh, looks like it's not. That's so sad. I really wanted us to. Oh, I see. So I need to probably save it first.
You can just try to use Control V if that will work.
Yeah, I did that. It's not pasting. That's the first thing I did.
Oh,
Yeah. But then, do we have anyone who has designed or rather done their table or rather their bar chart yet? Anybody? That's okay. You catch up. Anybody? I need someone. Adeduke has done it. You guys, we are supposed to clap for her. She's the only one that has dropped image. Hello? Why is nobody clapping? Adeduke, let me clap. See, me, I'm clapping for you. Thank you, Mobola. Thank you so much. Yeah, well done. However, your chart looks quite uh different. Let me see what is going on with that. So you have region. Oh, you did count of people. I love it. Someone who is not just following the crowd. I love it. Well done. All right, so let's go back. Let's come back here. So we looked at region versus quantity. So quantity of product again, like I said, product probably sold or whether bought. Now, of course, I'm just seeing a blue, I'm just seeing blue bars with different heights. But my interest, of course, if I'm presenting this to stakeholders, I mean, they will just look at this and be like, okay, it looks like more products were sold in the West, but I don't have the count. It makes no sense, right? So, of course, typical Excel, you would want to use your data labels. That's where this little guy that I mentioned comes in, a label. But there's a cheat code to that. There's another guy over here that is just T. You can simply just click on T and then you can see the labels. But again, I'll unclick that so we can do it the proper way, right? Now, for me to see the labels, which is of course the quantity per region, I'll come back here to quantity. Same way we pulled it on our rows shelf, I'm going to pull quantity and dump it here in labels. So just dump it. And then you see you have the same value, right? Now I can even come here to edit, to change the format. Maybe I want to change the font. I want to make it bold or italic, but I won't advise you use italic. It's okay if it's bold, maybe once in a while, because again, we start to learn about data ink ratio, but we're still doing beginners over here or doing something interesting. We are going deep, but we don't want to go too deep, so it still makes sense at the end of the day. All right. So again, I said you may want to do some edits, right, to the labels. And then you can just come to label and then come to text, click on this. I think it's called ellipsis. Click on this, and then you can format what you have. So I can highlight the entire of that, or rather the entirety of that, and then come to the font of interest. I like to use Georgia, right? And then I want it bold. Yeah, that looks good to me. Mm-hmm. I think this is okay. So we can have it this way, or you can choose again. There's this little guy here that says standard, fit width, fit height, entire view. You would need this a lot when you start to, what's the word now? Do the collage. That's bring all those sheets together for the dashboard. But because I have so much space, okay, I want to see the entire view. Yeah, this looks good to me. Again, all I did was go from initially it was set at its default, it's automatically set to standard. And then I just went to entire view. And this is what we have. Okay, let's not dwell on this too much. Let's try to create another chart. Do we have another suggestion? Someone who wants us to create something else, or you want us to use a different chart? Something much more interesting. Let me see. If I don't get one in a minute, I'm going back. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, that's my 1 minute. I'm going back. Okay. Now I'm interested in, for instance, let's map. Let's create a map. Let's create a map, right? So we have country, region, state, city, postal code. Most times, especially in Nigeria, you are able to create up until, so we have three major admin, or rather administrative boundaries in Nigeria. We have the first administrative level, we have the second administrative level. The first administrative level is the state level, so the 36 plus one states in Nigeria, right? That's the first admin level. And then the second admin level, the local government areas. Of course, they are existent within the different states. And then the third admin level is the ward level. So we have different wards in different LGs and different LGs in different wards. Now, on Tableau, the lowest level of administrative. Now, I'm mentioning this for someone who has Nigerian data to plug. In fact, it would have been fantastic if we had Nigerian data. But then it's not just reminds to Nigeria. We have other people from other places, right? So let's just let's just play it safe here, right? So for someone who will be using Nigerian data going forward, the lowest granularity, that's the word, that you will find to map automatically on Tableau is the LGA level, the admin tool level, right? If you want to map the word level, then you would need a special file. And I hope there's someone who's into GIS that would understand on the call. So you would need a special file, like a shape file, special light, just a version that Tableau can read that you can then plug and visualize. But in this case, of course, is the US. They have all of this embedded already. They're only interested in our own LGR state for Nigeria, but it is what it is. All right. So for us to do the map, again, I could easily just drag region here and then I'll see this table, but that's not my interest. My interest is a map. But before I design that map, before I change this to a map, please, I want us to also take note of something in front of this region. In fact, let me take this back and bring colon here, country here. I want us to take note of this plus in front of country. And I also want us to take note of this, it looks like a diagram, like an hierarchical diagram. And actually in Tableau, it's called hierarchy. It looks like, that's what it is. It does not just look like it is what it is. Right? Now, you would see that in this arrangement, you have country, region, state, city, and then postal code. Now, the way Tableau works, let me take note of just a minute, please. So I want to delete this hierarchy, remove the hierarchy rather, and then do it again for someone who is interested in doing an hierarchy, tomorrow. So let me just take note of country. So I know what dimensions I'm pulling together. Region, states, city, and then postal code. So I'm just going to remove this hierarchy, right? Now, it's as simple as that. Click, or rather select all the dimensions of interest that you want to use to build your hierarchy. Now we will see the work of an hierarchy, but I just want to show us how to build it first. You will select all the columns, right? I keep saying columns because I want us to relate it to the way it looks on the table, on the data itself, because that way it makes sense, right? Select the columns and then right click. Did I right click on it? Yes. Yes. Right click on it and then create. Right? Is it create? Calculated field. Group by. Okay, hierarchy. Apologies, please. Create hierarchy. This was what I was looking for. Right? Once you select all the dimensions of interest, right click on it and then hierarchy. Now, peradventure, the reason why we have this hierarchy is because it's saying peradventure there's an hierarchy you initially designed or yeah, designed. For instance, instead of me selecting all these five at once, I had selected just two or probably just one, right? And then I now want to add three other dimensions to the hierarchy. That's where that hard to hierarchy comes in because you already designed one and then you are pushing it into that hierarchy. But in this case, we are creating a fresh one. So I'll just click create hierarchy and then I can give it any name of interest. Maybe I'll just say training hierarchy. But then, of course, we know its location. I'm just using a different name so we know that I'll just put training location. So we know that it's not cast on stone. Right? And then here we go. So we have the different. Now I want to, oh, let me just confirm this, right? Because I want that order. So we had country, and then we had region, and then we had state. Now, if this was Nigerian data, I'll be able to speak to it well. Right? Because of course, if this was Nigerian data, then we would have states here, then we would have LGAs here, then we would have wards here. Now, if we have, for instance, in Lagos, another granularity is the LCDAs. We can now have the LCDA layer. Anyway, that's with creating hierarchies. Now, I've pulled my country slash region again. Let's try that again. I put my country slash region dimension on rows. Now, I said take note of the plus. Now, what the plus does is telling you that listen, I have other dimensions stored inside of me. Or, for instance, in other cases, if it's dates, if it's a year, it's telling you, listen, I have other subcategories inside of me that you can explore, right? When I click this plus sign, it automatically pops up the next level of the hierarchy, which is the region. When I click on region, it moves to states or province. When I click on state or province, postal code, and then, of course, the last. Again, it's okay if you don't get it once, right? Just be open to testing different kinds of tools and processes. I'm telling you, you'll be so good in a few weeks. Honestly, and I'm being honest, I'm not even exaggerating right now, right? And then, for instance, I may want to see the sale. I think I saw sale in the chat room the other time, and I can just dump my sale here and see it as a table. Now I can see the total sale per city. Now, for someone who isn't aware, maybe someone like me who doesn't know the postal code for these different cities, or maybe I don't even know the state or the province. I think it should be province, where or rather states. I don't know which one do they use in Canada and which one do they use in the US, right? So maybe I don't even know what state or province it is. I think Canada is province. Yeah, right? At least this table breaks it down for me. So I'm sure, okay, Winnipeg is in Manitoba and it falls under the central region in Canada. When we come to the US, it's the same. There's, let me look for a simple name that I wouldn't murder, right? All right, there's Carol Stream, and this is the postal code for Carol Stream, and it falls under Illinois, Central Region, United States. And then it's like that Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, and the rest of them as it exists within the data. Again, what we are seeing pulled directly from the data. All right. Now, I just wanted us to see how that plus sign works. Now, of course, I can collapse it back by just clicking the minus sign and then it collapses the table and we're back at region slash country. Okay, since that is not, okay, let's just move on to the map. I said I wanted to map. Now the question is, what do I want to map? I think let's just see all the states as a map. I don't just want to see it as a table. Because again, I can't quickly derive. Now, oh, great, I forgot to mention. You can see the very, in fact, let me see if I can undo. Again, please note that I'm undoing. So I'm just clicking this back arrow, right? Now, imagine a table as long as this. And all this table is showing us is the total sales per city, right? Or rather, let's use per state to even make it much smaller, but still see the level, see the rows, see as many rows. Now, again, I just want to use a map to simplify what I have here. So I intentionally didn't close this and went to a new sheet. Again, for you to go to a new sheet, just click this plus box, new worksheet. So I clicked it and it popped up sheet 3 for me. Instead of pulling my state, because I said I want to see the sales per state, right? I don't want to see it as a table like this. I want to see it as a map. Instead of pulling it to either my rows or column shelf, I'm just going to double click on it. Of course, your left uh, part of the mouse. Why has that name eluded me? Right? I'm just going to double click on state/province. It feels like magic, doesn't it? Right. So now I have a map of North America showing the United States and some parts of Canada, right? Because of course our data had just USA and Canada. Now, of course, I do not think this is the entirety of Canada. No, it's not. It's not even showing Alaska. Interesting. Maybe we do not have Alaska information for USA on the data, right? So it's just showing what we're just seeing at the moment is what we have within the data, the different provinces we have and states we have within the data. Okay, so again, we just don't want to see points. I want to see the sales like we have it here. In Manitoba, the sales they had was 1,931 total sales. I want to see that here too. I think this is Manitoba. I want to see that total sales here too, right? Where's my sales? Let's double click and see what happens. There's no harm in doing that. So I'll double click again and you see what happens. Now the points are categorized based on the total sales. I think at this point I should ask what the problem with this is. If I presented this to you, imagine I am your data analyst, and then you told me to give me a map that shows the total sales rather for each state and province in the US and Canada. And I presented this to you. What would you say is wrong with this? Does this communicate to you? I mean, if you're saying I should add label, I can go ahead and add label for you. But does this really communicate to you? I think adding the label had some, okay, maybe usability to it. I think it does, right? Someone was about to speak. Hello? I need someone to tell me what they would say was the problem. I think I should remove this and leave it like this. Imagine I presented this to you. What would be the problem? What does it? I mean, it's not even communicating anything really. I can just see that, oh, clearly they made a lot of sales in California. And then compared to British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and other provinces in Canada, it looks like we had more sales in the US. I mean, that's what this map is looking like. But I mean, it's just too, I don't know, it's not saying so much. Now, I'm going to remove my sum of sales, right? And to remove, you just pull it completely away from the max card. Just pull it out. And then, in fact, once you pull it, you already see, when you come to the side, you already see the X, which means, of course, you can drop it now for it to be discarded. Now, I want us to, we came here earlier where we have automatic, of course, just click on this drop down. You can just click on this tiny rectangle facing down, triangle, forgive me, facing down, right? And then we have this list of options. I want us to create to select map on this. Tell me this is not better. No, tell me this is not better, right? At least now I can see the extent. Okay, I can see the extent now. So now I want to see my sales, like I saw, like I have here, and like I saw for the points. But the only problem was that that didn't really give me much. Now again, I'll double click on my sales. Look what happens. Now it has used a color ramp to easily show me. I mean, now it's even easier, especially when I label with the names of the states and provinces. Now I know, oh, this definitely this deep blue is doing fantastic. Definitely this looks like second. This is probably third. You know, I can quickly identify them as compared to when I had just circles and it was, I almost did not even know that there were sales in Canada. But my mind went there because I had seen the data on this table and I had seen records in front of them. Am I communicating? Do we understand? So it's about trying different processes, trying different methods, visualizations, and then over time you just understand what visualization works better for what, right? So in this case now, I could even say, you know what, I want to label the countries, I mean rather, I want to label the different states. I mean, of course, because that's the lowest granularity, right? I want to label the different states and then I want to label it with the sales. Easy peasy, we did it earlier. We'll just pull the column of interest and drop it where we want it, which is our label. It automatically labels it all for us. Then we can pull our states, I mean our sales, and dump it on that. Now we have a map that shows us the total sales per state or province. Again, you might want to make your country names tinier. Go to labels, do your editing, make it look nice. You want to change even the color. I mean, okay, I think we should even try that. Let's try to change the color of the map. Maybe I don't want blue, right? Again, all I did was come to color, click on color, edit colors, and then I can come to the palette and change it. I mean, I have so many options, right? But I think I'm just going to leave my blue. I always like cool colors. So yeah, I think I'll just leave my blue. But please change yours. Right? So this is what we have compared to this table where I have to scroll. Imagine I had something longer than this. I'll just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Whereas here I can see it all at a glance. I told you guys I love my maps because they do fantastic work. Now, let's test out our filters. I was saying it the other time that imagine I was just interested in seeing a month. This time around, imagine I'm just interested in seeing a country. I'm just interested in Canada. I want us to see what happens. Now I'm going to move the country dimension to filters and dump it there. Of course, it pops this up that says Canada, of course, United States, just the countries I have within my data. And then I click OK. Now I'm going to ask it to show my filter because I want to interact with them, right? I'm going to uncheck all. And then I'll say, I only want to see Canada. I'll check Canada. Now you see the color changes. Again, it is dynamic. It's dynamic, right? It's not a process. Listen, there isn't much, no, we're not doing so much behind the scenes because Tableau has embedded it all within itself. Developers have worked over time, they've received responses from community and continue to improve the tool, right? So I don't even need to start. I mean, if I was trying to make a static map, I would now just start doing the colors that, oh, because this one is larger, I should have a deeper color, right? But then once I say, okay, show me United States as well, it adjusts itself because now the interest is from 132 to 457,000 as compared to when I said, you know what, exclude United States for now. So now the interest is from 132 to 11,460. At this point, 11,460 is the maximum sales on this data of interest at the moment. Same as United States, I may want to see for just United States. And here we go. All right, let's go and design something else. I think we have two charts already. We have our region by quantity, and we have, where is it? This. Okay, we can also rename this so it's easier for us to identify because you can see I was struggling to find which sheet was what rather. So I'll just name these um, quantity by region, and then I'm going to name this sales by state. All right, let me move this here. I think we should just make one more chart so that we can take questions because the way this time is just okay. Let me just create a new sheet. Again, like I said, to create a new sheet, I'll just come here and do new sheet or new worksheet. But then again, if I'm not interested in this sheet again, or if I'm not interested in what I have worked on here, I want us to take note of this little guy over here called clear sheet, right? Once I click on it, everything it becomes as good as new. Again, all I did was come here and do X. Again, all I did was come here and do X. Right, so I have a sheet as good as new. So what next? What else should we create before we now put our dashboard together? I think I need an opinion again. Hello, 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 everybody. Somebody should give me a dimension and measure to use, please. So we use the region here. Oh, we've been using location. I didn't even, that wasn't intentional actually. Uh, do we use category or subcategory? And then see, for instance, we've seen sales quantity, maybe profit or discount. No, but I think profit would be nice. Or even orders count. That counts the number of records in the orders table. Do I have any suggestions or I can just go ahead? It's a bit clustered and not readable. Oh, thank you so much, Daniel. You're right, I agree. Any suggestions, please? Let me go back to it so you can see. So these are the options, these are the dimensions. What do we want to see? What indicator would we like to see? Someone, please. Anyone?
Maybe category and ship date.
Category and ship date. Okay. We're interested. Thank you so much. We're interested in seeing category. I'll just again double click on it because I know it's going to just pop up here, or I can pull it. Now, okay, since this came up, I think I should mention that the reason why when I'd initially done this, I didn't, if you remember, I didn't double click on region. Now, the reason why is because, of course, Tableau automatically expects that you want to map it. So when I double click on it, it generates the long and lat for me. And it wasn't my interest, right? It wasn't what I was interested in. So I had to pull it. Please, let's take note of that. Thank you. So we're interested in category and then ship date. Right. So now we have the different years. Oh, thank God, this person suggested this. So you will still see that plus again. I was, mentioning that in the case of year two, when we click this plus, you see it shows us quarter because it exists within the data. When I click the quarter plus, it shows me the months within the quarter. And then I think we still have one more, the day, right? This is going to be very long. So of course I wouldn't suggest to use that, except That's what your partner is interested in seeing. If that's what the indicator wants to see, so be it. The stakeholder wants to see, then we would provide that. So let's retain this and see if it gives us something good first. So we have our categories, just furniture, office supplies, and technology. Now let me go back to entire view again, just so we are seeing everything properly. Right? Or should we do feet width? No, feet height. That should be like entire view. Okay, I think this is better. Entire view had it so broad before. So again, like I said, just keep trying, do something different. And then, I was trying to identify what's the difference between height and entire view, you know. And then I realized, oh, entire view will make it so big. No, I think I prefer the height. This works for me. Okay, so now we need to enter a variable into this part where we have ABC. We need a measure, something it is we want to visualize, right? In this case, let me see, what should we pull? I think we've seen quantity, we've seen sales. Let's use something different. Profits. Is it possible? Great. So now we have the total profit per quarter, per year, per category. I hope that makes sense. So the different quarters within each year and then for each category. So just like that table that we had seen on the PowerPoint document where we had book quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, same as calculator quarter one, quarter two. So related to this, that's what we're saying. Now I'm going to take us to another interesting part. Looking at this, I cannot at an instance see suggestions. I want to be able to see suggestions of visualizations that I can use this table or this record to that I can visualization that I can use to display it, right? And I don't want to have to pan through this one by one and say, "Mm-mm." There's a guy over here on the right, and it's called Show Me. Listen, this guy, easy peasy. Once you click on show me, it shows you the different charts that you can create with what you currently have on this worksheet. So again, it's saying this looks good, I believe. Let's click on that and see what happens. You guys, this is what we have. At first, it doesn't make any sense. It just looks like ugly lines. So a thing for me with lines is I like to even change the path. Maybe use something a little something that looks, should I say, modest. Look at this. Now it's beginning to look like I'm a Texas. Right? Or this most times does not really make much sense. But you will see someone use this for a dashboard because they're trying to look they're trying to make their work look so, you know, which again, like I always say, this is not communicating anything. It's not. So I'll go back to our ugly line pattern. I think we should, this might work, but let's go back to this line, right? This is what this looks like if we're using line. Now, another interesting one, again, you would notice Tableau says recommended. Also note that if I'm only interested in seeing, for instance, if we remove this, now it shows us just the year. This was all I did. I clicked on this quarter, right? We were seeing quarter that was within years. So Q1 to Q4 for 2020, Q1 to Q4 for 2021, like that. And then the most recent within the data is Q1 in 2024, which is why it has stopped here. All right. Now, all I did was move this out. I removed it again. I said all we just need to do is right click on it to pick it and then take it to any gray area. So that removes it. But then let's still retain this because that only shows us by year, but this shows us by year and then by quarter. Now, I'm interested in seeing, for instance, this area view. I like this a lot, actually. Most times it makes sense, right? I'm going to click on that. Now, this is what you see. So again, please don't forget that we would label our data points, or in Excel, if you're more familiar with Excel, it's called data labels. we would still label our data. So it will still make more sense at some point, right? But then again, I'm thinking of in my head now that, I mean, do I really need to see it quarter one to quarter four? Because definitely by year will show me better. But I should also mention that I can even break this further to months. I can break it further today. I mean, Tableau says you want to do it, go ahead. Do you understand? But then again, does it make sense? Who needs this? So I'll just collapse it back again. I'll just come here. In fact, you don't need to have to collapse it one after the other. You can just come to the first one and then that collapse everything, or that collapses everything. Now I'll just do fit width or I'll do entire view. I think fit width looks good. So we have our ship date, the year, by category, by we're saying the profit that we made based on the ship date by category. So the profits we made on technology category based on this ship date, the 2020 ship date, the things that we shipped for technology in 2020, this is the profit we made. So please also take note of the legend on the right. Blue for furniture, orange office supplies, red technology, and of course you can change the colors in the max card. But take note that red is technology. So again, it says in 2020, this is how it was doing. It looks like it went up. It did go up in 2021. It did go up in 2022. It went further in 2023 and then collapsed in 2024. Again, these are insights based on what the data has. Now, let me label this. Oh, I'm sorry I haven't mentioned the tooltip all along. Uh, okay, let's just come back to that. Now, let's add our data label. So at least we are seeing the values, although the tooltip shows it. And what am I calling a tooltip? This box, this white box that keeps showing up and down, right? So I'm just going to pull profits. I think, yeah, we're working with profits. Again, I'll pick profits and dump it in my label. Now it's showing me the counts, right? For each data point, for each year, for each category. Now to the tooltip. I'm going to click this guy and then it pops up the edit tooltip wizard. Again, all I did was just come to tooltip, left click on it, and then it pops up this box that has category, the year of ship date, and profit. This is the preview. This is what we've been seeing. Category, year of ship date, and profit. Now, again, you can leave it as is, but if you want to add some, you know, some is it called vroom? If you want to add some, if you want to elevate the aesthetics, you can write it as a sentence or something. For instance, how do we even write this? The total profit in furniture category in 2020. That's a lot of in. That's two ins. I hope that's correct grammatically. So I'll say the total profits. The total profits in, for instance, furniture category. Someone should help me, please. This in is not correct. I need a better sentence. In, for instance, 2020 is, I won't use was because it's going to retain, or rather, let me put was in brackets, or was slash is 2000. Okay, so now the reason why I won't be able to use this sentence, you know what? Let me just do okay. Now let's come to any of these data points. You can see what we just typed at the bottom. The total profit in furniture category in 2020 was slash is 2000. Whereas, of course, the total profit is 34,607. Can you see this? It changes 40,529, 50,454. Whereas the sentence we put remains is static. It's important for us to make it dynamic. Also note that when you come to office supplies, I know it's office supplies because the legend on the right says orange is office supplies, right? Now, office supplies is still showing total profit in furniture category in 2020 was, that's not what we want. We want it to be dynamic, right? Now, all I'll do is I'll come to this sentence that I wrote. I need three things to be dynamic, and we have those three here already, right? I need the total profit in furniture category. I need furniture to be dynamic, such that when I'm on office supplies, it shows me office supplies. Now, I need 2020. In 2020, I need the year to be dynamic, such that when I'm in 2020, it shows 2020. When I'm in 2023, it shows 2023. Was slash is, this is the total profit. I need 2000 to be dynamic. All I need to do is, let's say for instance I don't have these options here, because I would have said I'll just copy them and replace them with my terms of interest, right? Instead of that, I will just come here, the total profit in furniture category. I said I need to change this. Now, the column that houses the different categories is named category. So what I need to do is to insert that column name category, right? Again, all I'll just do is double click on furniture so it's highlighted. Then I'll come to this guy over here that says insert. And then I'll put category. I'll come here and select category. The total profit in category. Yes, I know what I'm doing. I'm just telling Tableau, yes, I understand it looks funny, but I'm sure this is what I want. The total profit in category in, this is my year. Now again, I'm going to highlight it, insert year, which is the ship date. The total profit in category in year ship date was slash is 2000. I need my profit year. So I'll just go back to insert again and put my sum profit. Then I'll okay it. Now you would notice that it's dynamic. It's saying the total profit in technology category. This is correct because it's red. Total profit in technology category 2021, technology category 2023. Let's come to the blue one. Total profits in furniture category 2023. Total profits in office supplies category 2022 was slash is 36,153. Listen, your stakeholders will see these things and think, oh my God, so much work went into this. It didn't. it wasn't that deep, really. It was just that you knew how to use the tool and you knew what to deploy simply. All right. Now that we have that sentence, I'm going to go ahead and remove the category, the year, ship date, and then the profit. So I'll come to tooltip again, completely remove this guy because I do not need it any longer. Again, like I always say, I like to use Georgia. I think that's the most beautiful font I've ever seen. I'm right. Nobody's allowed to argue with me. Right? So now in fact, I was doing this without knowing. I'm just now doing some touches to the sentence, right? I don't just want everything to be bold and all of that. And I could even give it colors. So it says the total profit in. In fact, I want this to be smaller. I don't want it to be as obvious as big, the sizes, or rather the sizing to be as big as category year and sum. So I'll just change this to maybe 9. I think 8 will be too small. I like this as well and change it to 9. And then this guy as well, I'll change it to 9. Now this remains 10, 10, 10. Now I want, what do I want? I want this to remain black, but then I want this guy to pop up. Maybe I want to use, let me use blue. I just want it to, again, add vroom to it. And then I'll bring this guy down because I want it to just look properly formatted, as formatted as possible. Now this is what it looks like in our tooltip, and then I'll okay. Now let's check what it looks like on the chart. Here's what it looks like. The total profit in office supplies category in 2021 was, this looks much more pleasant to the eyes. It makes more sense for it to look like this. Again, it's just a process of trying it. What if this is bold? What if this is smaller? What if I write this sentence this way? What if I, it all makes sense at the end of the day. Now, I think I should emphasize on at this point. So the reason why we've gone ahead to use different kinds of dimensions and measures, I'm going to round off because I want us to also ask questions where we do have. I'm sure we probably have so many questions, right? So I want us to take notes that typically when you're interested in building a dashboard, right, your focus is that that dashboard should tell a story. Now, the reason why we have built different indicators, because left to me, I do not think all of these indicators are that related. Maybe region and quantity, and then the states and sales. I don't know. They're not exactly, because ideally it should tell a story, right? If you're telling me about quantity and region, all right, you have told me that these are the total, probably total normal products sold in these different regions, right? And then you come here and then you're saying, okay, these are now the total sales that we made in these different states. Okay, I think it's quite related then. Then we came to this last chart and we are looking at the ship date and the total profit. Okay, I think it still tells a story, sort of. I think it tells a story, sort of, right? So here I'll just name this. What should we name it? Year, or rather, profit by date. You can give it any name, even if it's just a letter, just so that you can identify it, right? Simply as that. So I'll just say profit by date. Then let's go to our dashboard quickly. Hopefully, we can cover that in 5 minutes. Oh my God, I wish we had more time, honestly. Right? So we can come, let's move on now to this guy. We haven't seen this guy all day. So let's select a new dashboard and just quickly put it together and publish. So we see that it's possible. We can do it too. It's not that difficult, I promise you. It's not that hard, right? We won't be able to cover trying to import our background images. I wish that would have been possible. But let's just work with the little time we have. So I'm going to set this to automatic, because why am I setting this to automatic? I want it that whenever anybody views this dashboard on whatever kind of system, I want it to be seen the way it is. I don't want it to start to exceed the page. Some laptop screens are smaller than others. Actually designing your dashboard, you should also take note of that, because the way it will look on dashboard on system A might be different from what it looks like on B. So most times I like to be safe sometimes and then use automatic. Now we have this, we have this, we have this. Oh my God, I wish we had more time. Like, there's so much other interesting stuff to discuss, but it is what it is. Okay, so again, we just have typically as many sheets you develop on your visualization tool, you have all of those sheets listed here. And then we have different objects. So the way objects works, right, is they're basically, I don't want to use containers, but they are basically tools that you use in designing the dashboard, essentially. I think that's the simplest way to explain it, right? So we have an horizontal container. I can move this. Listen, all I just did was, as we've been picking our data or columns, left click and then dump it. Again, left click, dump it on the sheet area, or rather the dashboard area, right? And then horizontal container. Now, what the horizontal container does is, as the name implies, it is a container that allows you arrange things horizontally, right? And to even help, they have that small image beside it. So for instance, if you're dragging anything, I'm dumping it. I'm dragging something else, I'm dumping it, right? I'm dragging something else and I'm dumping it. I'm going to remove this entirely. I don't want it yet. Yes. So I dragged the three different sheets that we created. I mean, oh my God, this doesn't look so beautiful. I wish we had more time. I keep saying that. Right? So, I mean, these are the sheets that we've worked on. And I mean, that's all we have on that's all we would have on our dashboard. But again, please, when you want to practice, play with much more indicators, play with different kinds of dimensions and measures, and then tell a story with it. Please do tell a story with it. You know, that would make it even more fun. So I just want to also bring this to our notice, the show dashboard title. Once I click on that, it shows dashboard one. Of course, like when you uncheck it, it disappears. This again, it brings it back. Then I can just say, let's I mean, because we're in a hurry, I'll just use training dashboard. Again, I'm a fan of Georgia. But then you can also just, do this by formatting the entire dashboard itself, right? Let me put this at the center. Then I want this to have a different name, quantity by region. I don't just want it. So you would notice that it retains the title of your worksheets, or rather the visualizations you've created. The titles are just based on what you saved them as. So this sheet is saved as quantity by reg, quantity by reg. So it assumes that name. When you double click on that, that's how to change the title. You double click on it, and then it takes you straight to edit title. You'll see it says sheet name. So you can just remove this and say, I want it to be named quantity by region. Okay. I can also decide to remove this entirely because I don't want to see it by simply just right clicking and hiding it. Same as this, I don't need it. I'm going to hide that header as well. Over here, what do we have? Sales by state. So I'll change that name as well to sales by state. Bring it here. So I've intentionally not changed these ones to Georgia because I want us to see that we can also just format the entire dashboard by going to the menu. So let's change this as well. Profit by date. Oh my god, our time is fast spent. So I will remove this as well because I don't really need it. And then I can come here to format my dashboard, right? I want the font to be Georgia. So it's going to change all my titles to Georgia instantly. Dashboard titles, sorry, worksheet titles, Georgia. Simple. So I don't need to be changing them one after the other. I want to change this. Typically, I use background images for my dashboards, but since we do not have that much time, I think we should just use a color. Not really. It's not giving the room. Oh my god. Okay, I think this will work for now. Okay. Again, or rather, on the second thought, I just thought since we're using a container, it might be best to just format that container. Where's its layouts? Oh my god, I didn't even get the time to explain all of this. All right. So, uh, okay. So I'll just change the color. Okay, maybe it's just best to change the color of the entire dashboard so it doesn't leave out my titles. Again, I'm just rushing. I'm trying to make it, prepared so we can see how to publish as well. Mm, come on, come on. Format my dashboard. And then let's just use that blue. This is not so beautiful, but we'll work with it, right? Another interesting tool before we publish is what's it called now? This guy here, this user's filter. So I can say I want to see just for the West region. You see, it filters every other indicator or chart on my dashboard. So all I'm saying here is the West region. All I'm saying, this information is now for West region. If I'm just interested in South, you can do that. East, do that. Central, do that stuff. Love it. I can also say I want to use this as filter as well. My interest is just Saskatchewan. And then here we go. Right? I can click out or I can click back on it. And then there's what we have. So this might be quite dicey, except I want to use the category. So let's try that out. Again, use as filter. Let's see. Right. So it uses category to filter. So I'll just leave this as this. In fact, I'm going to leave it like this. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like this. And then it's time for us to publish. So I said I was going to come back to this server in order for me to publish. But please, for you to publish, you need to what's it called now? You need to okay, we already registered actually, so I think you should automatically. But that was for Tableau desktop. I think we would need to create a profile. We would need to sign up for Tableau public. So Tableau public is just let me. Do I have a new? Let me open a new Google Chrome.
Hello?
Hi.
Um, I'm just trying to remind you that we should be careful with time because time is almost up. So let's
Yes.
just round up.
Yes. Yes. That's what I've been hurrying to do to round off actually. So I just also wanted to bring us to this page, Tableau Public Discover, where you can see as many dashboard designs as possible. You know, you can see different designs that you can work with, something that inspires you that you can create. And then you can click on any dashboard of interest and then you can download it, use their templates, try out the different methods and tools that they used for theirs. I think is a good place to round off. You know, I do not want to pull them stress this further. All right. Thank you, everyone. Oh my God. I hope we're able to ask questions under 5 minutes. Over to you, Mr. Damola.
We can entertain some questions. If you have any questions, you can as well put it in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic to speak, or raise up your hand to, to notify us so that you want to speak, which will make it even better. And for the material and the recorded version of this class will be sent to the Telegram group. If you are not yet on the Telegram group, kindly join. The link will be sent to the chat box. So any question,
Yeah, I have a question.
okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miss Victoria or Mrs. Yeah, for the submission. It was really insightful. And so I wanted to know, you mentioned something like the story your dashboard is telling. Is it based on the stakeholders' requirements that would determine what your story is? That's one. And then secondly, I didn't join when you initially introduced the Tableau software. So I joined a bit late. So the Tableau desktop and Tableau public, is it like a different package? Like, are they different packages? And lastly, you said something about the templates on the Tableau public. Is it something that we can incorporate into our own um, dashboard or visualization? Thank you. These are the three questions, man.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. So for stakeholder requirements, yes, for someone who works on that or for a company, of course, the process of designing a data or a dashboard, right, is for you to first develop a data analytics plan, which is like a collage of the different indicators that you would be working on your visualization tool. Now, we present, or you're expected to present that data analytics plan, and most likely a design that you've done probably on Canva or what's this very common one? Figma. Is it Figma? There's Lucid. You know, whichever design tool it is, right? You're expected to have presented that to your stakeholders and then they give you a go ahead, because you do not want a situation where you finished telling a story because you think telling that story with the data makes a lot of sense to you, and then you're done telling that story, and by telling that story I mean you're done with the visualization, and then your stakeholders are telling you it's not my business. This is not what I want. Do you understand? So
Yeah, I get
most
you.
times it's informed by the request from them. Except if you are the one who is doing that. I mean, as a freelancer, you just want to design something and put it out there, and just talk about it, make people talk about it. So yeah, is desktop and public the same? No. So Tableau desktop is like a desktop version of Tableau. basically. Right? You can do all your designing and all of that and save it locally on your system as compared to Tableau Public, right? Now, Tableau Public allows you to do your work online and all of that. But another thing, because I think I've once seen a locally hosted Tableau Public as well, but I'm not sure if you get to save it on your laptop because I haven't worked with it like that. But one of the things I've also noticed is that the tools are not as full as compared to the desktop version. So yeah, those are the differences. They are not the same. They are two different platforms. And Tableau
Okay.
Public, the reason why I mentioned to publish to Tableau Public is because it's free to publish to Tableau Public. As compared to if you were doing Tableau online, then you need an account, and then your dashboard cannot be seen by just anybody. Unlike Tableau Public, your dashboard can be seen by the public. Anybody can just get the link to your dashboard and I mean, I can just post the link of my dashboard on LinkedIn, and anyone who stumbles upon the post can interact with the dashboard. As compared to publishing to Tableau online, for anyone to interact with it, I think they would have to first, not I think, they will have to first sign up for that. You know, I mean, it's a long process as compared to public where it's just click and run, click and go.
Okay.
I'm not sure I noted the third question.
Yeah, that's the third one.
Oh,
Okay, the
okay.
third one was actually the template, but I think it's your explanation clarifies that.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
All right,
You are.
thank you very much. Um, I would like to use this opportunity to introduce two new programs that are coming up on September 20 from Transformation College. I'll be sending the links to the chat box. Well, first of all, we have certificate in information system, and this is a different course. This is the very first time we're doing this course here at Transformation College, and I'm sure that if you're planning or you want yourself to be at the foremost front of ICT or IT in general, you need to know the basis of information systems and you need to be well equipped. So Transformation College is going to be starting this course September 20th. This course is 100% tuition free, and you would only be needing to register for the course, and all you need to do is pay a sum of 10,000 naira for the registration. And also, the second course is entrepreneurship and business management. So if you know that okay, you have a business or you're working with someone or you have a particular business you're managing, if you want to be better at the business, if you want to know the hows and where and what to do to make your business one of the best in Nigeria, the best in Africa, and the world at large, you need to take these fundamental courses to make sure that you are positioning yourself to be the next big thing. So as for the EBM, you also need to pay 10,000 naira for a registration fee, and the tuition is completely free. So I'll be sending the links to register. Okay, I just sent the link for CIS, which is Certificate in Information Systems. And I'll be sending the link to the Entrepreneurship and Business Management as follows. So if you're interested in any of these courses, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to the admin and let them know you want to partake in any of our courses. So it was a very lovely session today. I really learned a lot about Tableau, and I'm sure that most of us here did the same. And if you have any issue or probably you were unable to tag along from the beginning, the recorded video of this session will be shared and the material as well. So please, if you're not part of our Telegram group yet, I will reshare the link to the Telegram group so you can be a part and you can maximize this opportunity because the materials and the link and the YouTube link will be sent there. Sorry about that. Please don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. Transformation College thank you very much. It was really pleasure having you all in the session today. Thank you very much. I still remain your number one academic coordinator, Idamola Goshe. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you all in the next class.
Hello, please, where will the Telegram link be sent